Hello everyone, this is Lorena, and I'm back with another Duelist video. The last video that I will be recording today, by the way, because obviously I've got other priorities, and Vanguard Zero is shutting down next month, which is painful because I'd rather do this all day instead. But I also want to play Vanguard, and I don't want to lose my ability to play it. So I better get my life's worth out of that before the game officially shuts down, and I do lose my ability to play it. Unless, of course, I'd like to play it against people in real life. Okay, well, I'm not going to go card fight just random people, okay? I don't do that. I am very nervous when it comes to playing against anyone that's a complete stranger. Anyway, as I was saying in the last video, words do in fact hurt. It's just people think they don't because they haven't heard words spoken to them over and over and over. Again, if you hear it often enough, you will begin to believe it. And when I learned this firsthand because of my own bullshit, I was terrified. I was like, oh shit, I've screwed up. Oh god, no. And it wasn't easy for me to actually stop that behavior, but I am here today because I developed anhedonia, and I recovered to some extent, mainly by being stubborn as hell, and because who cares if there's a point? Who cares? I can do whatever I want. All I need is energy. I don't need to care if I actually get anything out of it. Although my anhedonia being partial means there's still some normal functionality in those areas, and that's because of it being partial. I'm also very stubborn. I read online that you might where did I read this, and what was it exactly that I read? I cannot remember. Okay. Well, it was something about doing things that you used to enjoy and waiting until waiting until the pleasure comes back. Basically, it's like a training exercise for re-stimulating those areas. You do things you used to enjoy, hoping that eventually you'll start to enjoy those things again. Yeah, I think I've done a good job of doing that, if you ask me. But I absolutely do not like the whole fake it till you make it bullshit. Because, no. I'm not faking shit. I mean, some of this is an act for entertainment, but but it's not just an act. There's some real shit in here too. Obviously. I mean, who in their right mind is going to talk about having anhedonia? There is no way to fake that. If you have anhedonia, then you know it sucks and you don't want it. Okay, Pegasus, and you're doomed! You're doomed! Now go stand in the loser corner. Stand there! Yes, you lost at your own game. You're not even the only one, so deal with it. You're privileged. You're privileged and rich. You can handle losing. Anyway, at least he's a man of his word. Yeah, I just don't really see Pegasus as that bad of a dude. He's creepy, but he's not actually as bad as I make him out to be. He's just a bit weird, that's it. And I like weird, so there's not a problem, is there? He's still creepy weird, like I want to call the police every time he speaks sometimes. I mean, you're not that much older than Yugi, are you, Pegasus? Come on, I know you're an adult, and I know Yugi is like, what, 15 when he goes to Duelist Kingdom? I can't remember this shit. I don't keep track of ages very well. I don't even keep track of my own ages very well. I'm only 31. Just in case anyone has forgotten. I haven't, fortunately. There may be a day when I'm just not sure what my age is. I'll just sit here and I'll be like, what age am I again? Because I'm not good at working with numbers, I'll have to do some basic math to remember my age. You know, as you age, I imagine this is actually quite common. You just forget what age you are because who cares? You're old. That's all you register after a while. And that's all you register. Teo, when did you... Why? Why are you playing this? Oh god, this is bad because this deck is it's a hard counter to mine. I can't do shit against this deck. Anyway, if you hear something often enough, you'll begin to believe it. So, if you think words cannot hurt people and they give words the power they have, you clearly have never been affected by a slur. Because slurs are used to make someone feel lesser and devalued, and they're made to make someone feel like shit. And if you've never had a slur thrown in your face constantly, day after day, you don't understand what it's like for a word to be used against you, to harm you, and to purposely make you feel like you don't deserve this or that. There are people that have been made to feel less than human based on hearing slurs over and over. And that is just not good. And slurs are used repeatedly over and over in these cases because they know that they will hurt the person they want to be hurt. Since they know this shit, they do that over and over to gain control over their victim, to gain power over them, to gain some sort of sadistic pleasure out of it because they think it's hilarious for someone to be so hurt over one word. No, it's not about that. It's about the person that's being hurt over the slur because the slur is being used against them to discriminate against them. And because that slur is being used to discriminate against them, they hate when other people use that slur. That's why it's a slur. And that's why other people don't say them. Unless, of course, someone is... Well, there are many complicated reasons someone could say a slur. Like, I'm not necessarily afraid to say slurs, but I don't want to hurt anyone, so I prefer not to. And now I get to call myself whatever I want, so I can say that I'm a bitch if I'm going to say I'm a bitch. And because I get to decide what I call myself. Now, obviously, I shouldn't say it too much because I might start to believe that and it might start to feel very bad. But if I'm careful, it's okay if I say it to myself because I can already consent to myself saying it to myself. So there's automatically consent as long as it's me saying it. Obviously, if you call a woman a bitch over and over and over, eventually she's going to come to believe that and she could get hurt. And this word can be used to harm anyone, basically. Like, you don't have to be a woman to be harmed by that kind of discrimination. Slurs are inherently discriminatory, which is why it's bad to use them. And though they do cause harm, so it's not possible to say that words are harmless when it comes to slurs, because that is just not true. They hurt. Okay, I see I've lost. Anyway, again, I'm just finished rambling about how slurs hurt people and how words are in fact harmful. But they become harmful over a period of time. And it's easier to hurt someone with a slur when they're very, very young. Which is why discriminating against a child is even worse than discriminating against an adult. Because that's most likely going to leave a mark. Especially if you say it when that child is like 5 or something. Okay, well the darkness isn't, I'm not done being dark. The darkness is here. Alright, well, I know a lot of things. I know a lot of shit. But anyway, I've never been discriminated against based on a slur. But my understanding is it's based on discrimination. And I don't like discrimination because it sucks. I mean, I don't feel like I've ever been discriminated against either, but it's just, when I really think about it, there are people like me that do get discriminated against. And they get discriminated against because, why? Autism isn't bad. Why do people hate it? The only reason it's so bad is because society doesn't want to accommodate people with autism. Although autism can have a range of varying impact, it can have a varying range of impact on someone that has it. Like, for example, someone can learn to associate autism with, they don't necessarily have to be a fan of having it, but I'm just over here like, oh God. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that I just don't understand why having autism is bad. It can be a struggle for some people because of society being what it is. Society being what it is why being autistic is a struggle. Having autism is a struggle. But only because society makes it one. And I don't really think that my autism makes me disabled. I'm not disabled because of autism. I don't see it as a mental health issue. I see it as it's just, I'm different, but it doesn't mean I'm bad. It doesn't mean that people with autism are bad. And people with autism can be very intelligent people. So whenever people use the R slur for people that have autism, I'm just like, you're really showing your maturity, aren't you? Aren't you? And it can hurt people with autism to hear that word over and over and over. But fortunately, I haven't had that used on me. Although I have said that I've got an ego when it comes to my intelligence. I can also go into further detail about why and in what ways, but honestly, I've written so many words at this point that I think I need to relearn English entirely. I need to relearn basic grammar. I have to relearn basic punctuation. Rulings of specific terminology when it comes to grammar. All sorts of basic shit. Oh, and I should learn what words mean. Because I might forget what they mean if I don't look it up every now and then. I have to make sure I know what I'm saying before I say it. Anyway, I've lost games. I mean, I've seen a lot of mobile games I've played go down over the years. Let's see, I've seen Magia Record in A die, which means the English version of the game. Although I think only the Japanese version of Magia Record is around now. Which is a surprise to me for some reason, even though it really shouldn't be. And I've seen Sailor Moon Drops die. Sailor Moon Drops was a match 3 game. It's kind of similar to Gems of War, except Gems of War is much more convoluted, and Gems of War is a more difficult game to understand, but at least it's still around. It's still around! I've been playing it for years since Sailor Moon Drops shut down. And Vanguard Zero is the next mobile game I loved to shut down. Unfortunately for me. I'm going to cry when this game shuts down, probably. I'm not even sure if I'm lying. I might actually cry. I'm not even sure if I'm joking. I mean, when Brains ended, I had to go through the 5 stages of grief. Yes, when Brains ended, I went through the 5 stages of grief. Although, I think it's a good thing that Brains ended in 2019, if you ask me. I mean, I admitted that it was probably a good thing that it ended when it did. Because it was depressing. And I'm like, I've got to go expose myself to something happier now. Then I downloaded Magia Record, and that was the end of my credibility. Well, I'm used to shit. Tristan? Okay, fine. I'm dueling Tristan now. I'm dueling Tristan. Let's see if I win. I think he's hiding something. I think he actually is hiding something. Tristan has a secret. I don't know what it is, but he has one. I'm just gonna make one up. I'm gonna make one up later though, when I have time for that. I'll probably do it when I start leveling him up, inevitably. Because he will get his turn. I don't know when, though. I don't know when. I mean, I'm currently working on Bones in Damn World, so when I max out Bones, I'm probably going to switch to either Rex Raptor or Weevil. I haven't decided which yet. But I have this weird order when it comes to priorities, and I just decide shit. At random, I'm like, so, who should I level up next? I'll pick that one. I'll pick that person. Yeah. Very strange, I know. And now Tristan is going to activate Dark Hole. I mean, it's mostly a joke, but he could actually have that card in his deck. Again? Why? Tristan, no! Who did this to you, Tristan? Who did this? Who is responsible for this? Sartorius, did you do this? Sartorius? He could. He could. Like, everyone was working for him when he... Oh my god. Okay, now I know the truth. Tristan has seen the light. I had to unbrainwash him. I have to help him become better. No. No, Tristan, why did you lose? Why? It's called a dark timeline, where Jaden failed. Jaden failed, and that's a dark timeline. And then Sartorius brainwashes everyone, and the planet just dies. I was saying something before I rambled about Tristan and characters I'm leveling up. I remember words. Words. Oh yeah, games I love shutting down. And Reigns. Yes, I was talking about Reigns, and I went through the 5 stages of grief with it. I got better, but I still cannot believe I went through the 5 stages of grief with that series. We're talking about a fictional series over here, and I did more grieving over Reigns than I did over actual physical people. I feel bad. Sort of. Well, shit happens, okay? Shit happens. I can't control everything. But yes, after I was done with the 5 stages of grief, I was able to feel validated. I was beginning to think that I was stupid, but I don't think I could ever truly believe that. I mean, seriously, I don't think I could. If someone called me the R slur enough times, I'd probably come to believe it, but you'd really have to say it to me a lot. And I mean a lot. You'd have to be going overboard. Like, it's the only thing you say when you're talking to me. And who has time for that? Hopefully no one. Tristan has seen the light. This is not good. You know, if Jaden did lose against Sartorius, what would that mean? What would that mean? I mean, honestly, I don't even know when they came up with the whole Season 3 plot. I don't know when they came up with it. All I know is they had to come up with it at some time, and it probably was shortly after the Season 2 was planned to end. You're going down, Tristan. Okay. I activate this effect, and I really want to win. I don't know if I should do what I want to. What? I think that negates my... Oh, shit. Okay, well, you've got no Xyz materials now, so I don't have to be paranoid. Okay, do I have to attack that card? Well, I can. But my concern is, can he have Xyz material? Okay. Okay, yes, I do have to attack it. Alright. I was reading, Tristan! I was reading! I did all sorts of reading, you know? It happens sometimes. It's just not as common as it should be. It's not as common as it should be, but it happens. Alright, my turn is over, Tristan. It's your move. Uh-huh. To be honest, I think Sartorius did a better job at using this. The battle stuff is over. Why did I say yes to that? I think that Sartorius user had better control over this deck. This doesn't mean I'm going to win, Do not get me wrong. My opponent is still doing a decent job of destroying me. And I could still lose. I just think that Sartorius, that player, had more of an idea of what to do with his deck. But again, my opponent is doing fine. Oh god. Yeah, see? I just lost. Now I have to go figure out Tristan's other secret. I'm sure it's a very dark secret, too. He doesn't want anyone knowing. He doesn't want anyone knowing about this. I'll figure out your secret, Tristan. Anyway, I assume he has one because darkness destroyed everyone on the planet in one season. Everyone on the planet. Yes. So, unfortunately, no. No. Can I shut up? I wonder what the darkness in Tristan's heart was. I can ponder that later. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap things up for this video. I'm going to switch over to Vanguard 0 and come back later to destroy myself. And a duel. Okay. No, I did not mean to open Chrome. No. No, close it. No, Chrome. No. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap things up for this video. I'm going to switch over to Vanguard 0, and I will be back in a future video. This ending was completely butchered by me accidentally opening Chrome. Dear God.